Come on, baby, say you love me.
You usually get a longer intro than that, actually. That's a little bit short.
1, 2, 3, 4. Come on, baby, say you love me. 5, 6, 7 times.
Woo! It's a party there.
Love
Oh,
this
man,
song.
just getting into it. Sam Bailey and
Hey!
As you like to see, we keep Rick on his toes every Tuesday night.
You've got to
Yeah,
rein him
man.
in a bit, you know.
can catch him sleeping all the time, you know what I mean? So if you don't throw to him continuously, he zones out. Our little you guys have worked together, so you understand what I'm saying.
We have, yeah.
He's a good lad. Thanks for joining us in the Shaneanigans bar.
I know, it's nice.
This little section, we just like to have a guest in here, an awesome guest. When you are definitely an awesome guest, so thank you for joining us on My Dream Machine. It's a pleasure to have you. We've worked together.
We have. We did Big Star, Little Star
Big
with
Star,
our
Little
kids,
Star.
yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know, maybe 4 years ago.
Tommy was 5.
Why are you looking at me?
I think. No, he was 5. He was young. He was 5. He was 5. Look at you. Move out of the way.
Move out of the way.
You've not got a blue tick.
Come out of the way, blue tick.
Nice warm in here.
Yeah, Big Star, Little Star is a show basically where the kids kind of show you up, really.
Yeah, I got stitched up big time by my son. Yeah, he was saying that I'd trump and everything. And
Did you win?
no, I didn't.
Oh.
It was Alison
Alison
Hammond.
Hammond, she won.
Yeah, she won. Her son's like taller than her now. He's like
Oh, really?
18 or something.
I think he was about 18
But
on the
I think
show,
it was a
I
bit.
think.
I think it was a bit unfair though, because Tommy was only like 4. I'm sure he was only 4 or 5. He was tiny, and then her son was like 8 or 9, and like knew everything, and like. They had to keep coasting Tommy to say stuff because he was so shy. So I think it was an unfair advantage, but yeah, my kid was definitely the cutest, and yours, obviously.
No, brilliant. So for those who don't know Sam Bailey about your career, your awesome career, have a look at this little VT for you guys at home.
Come on and take it because and don't you know I sit around, I just sit my heart out. I can feel the weight just lifting, as if there's no one out there listening. Baby, there ain't no mountain high enough, ain't no valley low enough. Not going, no. You're the best man I've ever known. There's no way I could ever go, no. Like a skyscraper.
All right.
Come on, baby, say you love me. 5, 6, 7 times.
Woo!
Love this song.
Without a shadow of doubt, I mean, everybody fell in love with you from X Factor. You came onto our screens and you were just as raw as they come, and you sang like an absolute angel, and we absolutely love you. We
Thank
really, really do.
you.
What a career! I mean, what a beginning.
I know. I went from being a prison officer to all of a sudden being thrust into the limelight. So it was a bit of a contrast. So yeah, it was a massively good experience, but tough as well, because you're in a massive bubble when you're on the show, and then all of a sudden they let you free, and it's like you can't do anything without someone. And you know what this is like. You won't, because you've not got blue tick.
I knew this was coming. I stood and said nothing. I knew it was coming. I was like, I'll say nothing.
Oh gosh. So it's really tough, like to just go out into the real world. It's really, really tough. But you know, I've plodded along the whole way through it. I never wanted the fame so much. I just wanted to earn money and go on nice holidays, and that's exactly what I've done. So
That's all we really do,
Happy
isn't it?
days.
Working to earn money for our family,
Yeah.
to go on nice holidays and live.
Keep the money. I want the fame. I want the blue tick.
Nathan is desperate for the fame.
I work to live. I don't live to work. So if I want a new Hoover, I'll go out and work for it. If I want to go on a nice holiday, I'll go out and work for it. And I think that's what's kept me sort of going. And you get a lot of people saying, you know, when you get in the news and it says, where is Sam Bailey now? I'm still here.
Yeah.
I just don't want to be that famous that I can't go for a pee without someone, do you know what I mean? I wouldn't want,
100%.
and you guys know what that's like and how tough it is to not be able to nip to the shops or anything like that. And I had that for quite a while where I live in Leicester. And going into the school, I remember there's like 400 kids at my kids' school, and I had to sign every book bag, and like in the school playground, and was just being mobbed. But the more I did it, the more people left you alone, and I think the more you hide away, if you go the opposite way and don't come out, when people see you, they're like, straight on you. But now I get, hi Sam, you're right, yeah. And my kids are going, who's that? I'm going, no idea.
No, you're 100% right. I think it's a funny thing. When you see those guys hiding away all the time, and it's a mob fest.
But some people want that as well.
Some people like that.
Some people like it because they want to be that famous, as where I don't. Yeah, Nathan. He goes out with a hoodie and sunglasses on, pretends he's Lady Gaga.
Absolutely.
God, I mean, I'm 27 years in the industry, so I'm old hat now in that respect, and it's a funny thing. You find a nice niche of comfortability.
I have, yeah. I mean, obviously not this year, but in a sense of having longevity, I feel like I have had that longevity because I'm still earning money and I'm still having people wanting to have photos taken. Because when they stop, that you'd be like, how does that feel?
I see how this is all going tonight, people. Right, this is war.
No, it's just like when people ask you if they don't ask you for a photo, then you'd think, well, they don't really care anymore. Right. The fact that everywhere I go, people always asking for photos. I'm going to keep this going on.
I know where this is going every
What
time.
is that like, Nate?
Oh, it's awful. It's awful. I'll tell you the worst one. The God honest truth, I was out. And we used to get it a lot with shows and stuff like that, but I was out and I was with the girl that I was seeing, and we're in there, and these two people came up to me and said, excuse me, and they got a camera. This was quite a while ago, they had a camera, and they went, excuse me, a picture? And I went, yes. And then they give me the camera and want me to take a picture of them. I was like, I'm never doing that again.
I've had that before, but only for a joke though, not for real.
I was going to say, how people do it for a joke, innit?
Oh no, that was real. I can tell you it was real because how much it hurt me.
I don't mind. I don't mind having pictures with people. It's fine. It's just a massive contrast from what I did before to being in the public eye now. It's like, but there's a window due to the Cuppa crew and lives over the last year. We have a window into our lives, so they know my kids, they know how my house is and what we do every day, and it's nice because people just get to see a normal person doing normal stuff. Yeah. So that's nice.
I want to, if you don't mind, I'm going to take things back slightly. I always want to ask where your first car. So tell me about your first car.
Okay, so my first car that I got was, I'd not passed my test. It took me ages to pass my test, and I passed first time. And Craig got me a Ford Fiesta from, I think it was.
That was Nathan's first car too.
Yeah, it was my first car. Yeah.
I think, and I called it Ronnie.
Go on, Ronnie.
Yeah, I called it Ronnie. And then I had a Ford Fiesta Firefly, limited edition.
Moving up in the world.
Brand spanking one.
You're liking your Fords.
Yes, and then we had that and I called it Foxy.
See, I know that you like to name your cars.
I do.
Because you turned up in something particularly nice today as well, right?
Yes, I did.
Is it Ruby?
Ruby.
Ruby. So I think there's a little video of you arriving, right?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, Ruby.
Have we got that?
Shane Phelan. Over there, yeah?
Okay. You couldn't wait for that.
I was going down by myself then. I'm bringing someone with me.
Can I just say, I wanted to play a Boy's Own song, but he said I wasn't.
You're not taking the blame for this. I've gone down again.
Now, in fairness, it's probably about time I got a little something like that. Payback, right? Payback.
Yeah, 100%.
Bants.
Yeah, fair enough.
Lots of bants.
It was Westlife, wasn't it? I would have preferred if you paid to take that song, actually, but nonetheless, that's all good.
See, I think it's so cool. You drive a Mustang.
I do. I drive. Now, I used to do a paper round when I was younger, when I was like 14, 15. and down in Kent, and there was a house I used to deliver papers to that had a Dodge Viper, and it was a 1979 red Ford Mustang, and it was in the most mint condition, all like chromed up. It was stunning, cream leather interior. It was so nice, and I used to go and I say, one day I'm going to have one of them, but obviously not a 1979 one because I've not seen one for years, but I was like, I'm going to have
They're
one.
horrible to drive. It pull the arms out of you, them things.
Oh, but I got this car 3 days after lockdown. So I ordered it and it came brand spanking new car, and it came 3 days after lockdown. So I was just ringing people up going, do you need loo roll? Do you need pasta? I can go and get some and I can deliver it for you. Craig, do we need anything out of the cupboard? I was going to the shop like 4 times a day just to get in this car because we weren't allowed to go anywhere. But yeah, I've had Ruby for a year and she is beautiful, but you can't sit in the back if you're over 5'3".
I like that you've never speed in it either, do you? Like you're
No,
really
I
cautious
am
driver.
driving Miss Daisy in the car, and people like go past me and drive their cars, and the people in the car are like.
So we had when Sam
so
arrived
slow?
earlier, we was having a chat about her car. For those of you who don't realise, I'm not just a sex symbol, I'm also a stunt driver. So we was talking about that. And I was like, let's do a burnout in your car. She's like, what is a burnout? I've never been over 35 miles an hour in this
No,
thing.
I
I'm like,
don't
what?
know. No.
Did you let him do a burnout in your car?
Absolutely not.
Good, well done. I can't believe you asked.
Well, you know,
I'm a stunt driver, aren't I?
yeah, exactly, yeah.
And I Tyrone.
No, it's a beautiful car. It's a lovely car to drive, and I'd driven an automatic for so many years. So to go back to that car and do gears and stuff like that was a little bit weird because my first car was an automatic, and then we've had BMW M3 Sport, which I bought him one. As soon as I won the X Factor, I went and bought him a BMW M3 Sport. M5 Sport, sorry.
M5. We haven't had an M5 on the show yet. We did give away M3
Oh, they're
a few
lovely
weeks back,
cars,
actually.
beautiful
Yeah.
cars.
Nice.
But I remember driving that for the first time with it being an automatic. And you know that confusion of where you have to put your foot on the brake? I was driving down like a suburban street and went, literally nearly crashed the car because I was so used to changing the gear. But I put my foot on the brake thinking it was the clutch.
I have done that, I must say.
It's
Once
awful,
in life,
it's the
I've definitely
worst.
done that. I will join you on that.
It's frightening.
Mind block.
Because it's
do it.
it's muscle memory, isn't it, to do it? And then all of a sudden I was in that car and I just remember driving it, and luckily no one was in the car with me, and I nearly went through the windscreen because I just put my foot on the clutch. What was the clutch? But it wasn't. It was the brake. And I nearly
Headbutt the
went
window.
flying. So
It's the worst thing when you're doing 70 mile an hour and you think, I'm going to put it into P for power.
Or half a race. There's now that Mustang's not the only cool thing that you've done, right? No, or that you own.
Recently, yeah.
Can we talk about your pub?
Yeah.
I love this. You've got your own pub in
I've
your
got
garden.
my own pub. There are reasons why I've got this. I must be like the coolest wife ever for this sheer fact.
You bought an M5 in a pub.
And a Rolex.
Look at that.
But yeah,
That's a proper pub.
I said way before lockdown that I wanted to have a pub in the garden because I noticed a lot of people were doing it. Even more so now that we've been in a pandemic, people are actually looking at spaces in their gardens and making it into a pub, a champagne bar, a gin bar, all these different things. So I decided to order one of them, and it came in June. So we were in full swing of lockdown, and it came in 555 slats of wood delivered onto the front of my house, and we don't have a side access.
So through the living room.
Through the whole house had 555 slats of wood, and they all slot into each other. And when it was all done, I had my vision of what I wanted it to be, red carpet. And the thing is, I don't drink, but we've got Sky in there, big 65-inch TV, and a bar, and lots of alcohol, dartboard, pub games.
Feels like you're out.
And like a Bose surround system. It's ridiculous. Disco lights. And he goes in there and watches the football, and I just leave him in there, and it's his happy place.
Headspace, isn't it? It's all about the headspace. A lot of people are struggling out there for sure.
Right, we know where we're going.
Yeah.
I know where we're going.
There'll be pub dinners as well. You know,
You're
we're going to do pub dinners, Sunday lunches and stuff in
All
there.
over that. That looks amazing.
Well, you've seen the pictures of my pub dinners.
Do you know, I thought you were going to say you can't get in unless you've got a blue tick. That's what I was waiting for. That's why I was getting the giggles. I was like, I was waiting for
In the
this.
Shaneanigans bar, what we like to do is we like to cut to some popular clips on the internet. So this is some kind of pub fails, not back garden pub fails, but pub fails. And that's the kind of thing we're missing at the moment. Pub fails, out and about.
I miss falling over, getting drunk.
You miss falling over.
Yeah.
You're really good at it, Nathan.
Yeah, it's my hobby. Some people go cycling, some people do running. I do that. What I do want to do is, I know you've got a lot of projects on at the moment that you can't talk about. But could you give us a little scoop of what it was like? So, like a story of the X Factor, something that was.
Oh gosh, so there's like loads of things on the X Factor that people kind of don't know that goes on behind the scenes, but one of them in particular is we always used to get this bowl of sweets in our dressing room, and there was never any that were black. They were like wine gums, and we never had the black wine gums in there. And we found out that it was Nicole Scherzinger that only ever demanded the black wine gums. So a runner used to have to go out and get like 20 packets of wine gums, and then we get all the green and red and yellow ones, and there'd be no black. And black one's my favourite as well.
Oh, really?
So I just remember that. Like, Nicole will probably hate me for saying that, but you know, I always remember that. Every single Saturday when we go to the studio, we always end up with the dregs, and it was the dregs,
the sweet dregs,
the sweet dregs. We had a massive food fight on the night of the final. Because the show was sponsored by Mr. Kipling's, and there was like cake everywhere, and like they kept on. I was in the show with the younger boys, and they liked like Nando's, so they literally used to get Nando's, throwing chips all over the place. The room was a mess. Then we got moved. This is at Wembley. Oh, Sam, you're not in dressing room 1 tonight. You're going to be moved. Why? Because Elton John's going into dressing room 1. And we're like, oh, my God, we left that in such a state.
Oh, really?
We was like, oh, when they see that room, or when he sees that room. And then the next day, we went into it, and Elton asked us to come into his dressing room. I thought I was going to get told off. I honestly thought that I was going to go in there and he was going to say, what did you leave this? But he didn't. I walked in, there was velvet drapes on the walls, shag pile carpet like that, moe for it. You would have not have recognised it. It looked like a really posh hotel with Chesterfield sofas and everything in there. It was just a completely different room. I didn't tell him what we did in the day before, but
he does seem to have his requests, doesn't he, Eldon? And many others.
What's yours?
I was just going to say, what is yours?
No, what's yours? No, I don't drink alcohol, but whenever my hubby comes with me, he's like, make sure you ask for some beers or something like that, because we'll take them home. It's like
I've been round behind him at a Boys Own concert going, listen, are you guys taking all that sort of stuff? I'm filling up the bags of stuff.
I do. Like, if we get, if we go somewhere and I've got like an entourage of people, makeup and sound people or whatever, I like people to be fed, because I think hungry people are not nice people to be around, especially in an environment where they're working and they're hungry. So I want everyone to be fed. But
take no Dream Machine.
Yeah, I did. I fed you all. I give you all sweets and chocolate.
Did. Yeah.
Thank you.
Sam was amazing. She came in with chocolate and crisps and all sorts of stuff.
Thank you. But it's like when you go somewhere, there's crisps and chocolate and stuff like that, and I take it home for the kids. So I don't really have a rider as such, really. Just as long as there's like tea or coffee. I normally take my own. I normally get a bottle of milk. I take my own coffee machine everywhere with me now when I go somewhere. What about you then, Ryder? Come on.
No, do you know what?
You're lying if you say you don't.
Listen, Rick's here to vouch for this. Like, I'm okay, innit?
Yeah, the only thing Shane goes for is the red wine.
That's if I
you're joking, he's a diva. It's like, I want a cheeseburger with no cheese in it immediately.
I know a band, and you all know this band, but I'm not going to mention this band, but they asked for 4 separate different spirits on every gig they go to, and they alternate who has the what, so that when it's Christmas, they've got loads of alcohol.
I see.
Every time they do a gig, one has a bottle of vodka, one has and they're like, who had the vodka last week? Okay, I'm going to have the...
What
so
band did you say that
literally,
was?
I'm not going to tell
I
you.
thought we'd get that.
But we were on the road with Boys on Block, and Rick's basically a go-hand man, and you know he takes care of everything, including the rider. And trust me, there's nothing left by the end of any night. You know, them boys,
I come
man.
with a big sports bag that's empty, that's sort of folded up in my pocket, and by the end of it, it's like, bosh, on the shoulder. Wait up, guys.
Jangling.
Jingle jangle. What about in terms of cars and you know life scenarios, near misses? Have you ever been in any kind of accidents or just about got away with stuff?
I actually, when I was younger, I was in a car crash.
You were?
And yeah, I was in a car crash, and I had a couple of cracked ribs from the car crash. I think that's probably why I'm the way I am with cars. Like, if I know there's a lot of people in this room that probably like to go over the speed limit and love that thrill of having so much power in your hands and driving.
Just
but,
Nathan.
I was thinking, I'm the only
But, you know,
child in
it's
here.
like, but it's kind of, it goes hand in hand. If you love cars for that reason, like, my car is a, what is it, a 2.5 EcoBoost, but I got told it was a 3 litre, but I'll take 2.5, it's fine. But for me, I go at the speed limit, or if I do go a little bit too fast, I get really panicky, and I think that's because, for me personally, if you're in a car, it's not necessarily your fault. If somebody else screws up and you're going too fast, it's the impact of how fast you're going. So if you're going any faster than the speed limit, then you've got less of a chance of survival. And I don't mean to be morbid, but I think from the car accident that I had in the past, I think it's always kind of made me think, because that wasn't our fault, it was somebody else. But because of the speed that we were going, that's why I ended up with cracked ribs. If we'd have been going a bit slower,
It might have been right.
I might have come off unscathed.
No, without a shadow of a doubt, you're
So
absolutely right.
It's so important to be safe. when
Yeah,
you're in a car.
safe drive. You know, I think one thing that comes from that, the speed limit is not a target. You know what I mean? It's just there as an observation. Doesn't mean you have to go and hit it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Just
That's where I've been going.
That's what I'm saying,
sake.
Nathan. There I do. So we're going to have a look at some kind of near misses as a VT. Just going to check out these near misses.
Oh gosh. Oh, I've seen these.
Oh, that's one lucky boy behind that tree. Ooh, these are such close calls. Look at that. I don't know how this guy still has a head, but he's all right.
What is that go through the window?
Pole or something that came through the window. Whoa! Every day we walk streets and we just don't know what's coming.
Exactly,
You know?
100%.
Look
and
at this.
that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, if you're going at a certain speed, then I just think you have to be really careful. But that's just me. I'm being a mummy, aren't I? So.
No, absolutely not. I think without a shadow of a doubt, the older we get is the more realization that, you know, we definitely are close to death at any moment in our lives, really, aren't we? Wow. Well, that's it. Near misses, man.
madness.
Woo!
Talking of cars, right? I am getting loads and loads of people coming in asking Sam if she can do her sat-nav voice.
You have that voice?
What's that?
At the roundabout, take the third exit.
Oh my
Hang on,
God,
wait,
that
no,
is
that was hang on, I'll do the train one. Hang on. Please mind the gap between the platform edge and the train, please. and what's the other one? Hang on. Unexpected item in baggage area. Please wait for assistance.
I'm actually blown away by
That's
that.
it.
Brilliant.
You've got another job.
I think I have. Cashier number 4, please. He has not got a blue tick.
All right, are we ready for the b-ball shot?
I think we're ready for the b-ball shot. So we got some people. So Sam, there was 2 things we need to do. First one is there was pen up there. If you wouldn't mind signing the tub
I'm
for us,
really
please.
short. How do I get? I can't
We
even
can sign the
reach the
tub after.
pen.
Don't worry about it. We can sign it after.
I will sign it afterwards.
Yeah, we'll do that. I'm going to
We'll
pop this
sign it
out.
after. Don't you worry about that.
Okay,
Let's
where's
go. We're
my
going to go to here.
basketball? Oh, here it is.
So we're going to start off. We've got Jack Selfridge. So Jack is one of the people that shared. This is for £500 of site credit. Sam, whenever you're ready, you're
So
throwing for
if
Jack's
you get
office.
this- How many
You're going to
goes
go
by
one
get?
shot on this, then we'll pick someone else if it doesn't go in.
Take your
So
time.
500 quid.
Oh!
Okay, so right, the
That was
next one
close.
is Lorraine Roberts. Lorraine, this
Come
is for
on,
you for
Lorraine.
£500 of site credit.
Oh, that was
So,
close.
Sam, you're so close on this.
I know.
John Stevenson, 500 quid
Come on,
site
500
credit.
bucks.
So close.
That's it.
Don't worry.
Go on.
Okay, it's a
All
rollover.
right. We are on another 500 bucks rollover for next week. That was close, though, didn't you?
I was.
You
I
were
was
the
on
closest.
target.
Yeah, fair play. Fair
You
play.
did amazing. That's awesome. It's a rollover.
It's
So
a
all right.
rollover.